Okay, so today we're talking about how to organize your hallway and your keys. So combine the subjects because often they're kind of related and they're kind of at the same spot. So this is a really good project to do when you're just beginning with organizing and decluttering because it gives you a quick win. It's not the easiest, but it is quite a fun little project challenge. And you see, I often talk about projects and challenges because I like to see organizing and decluttering as a little bit of a game. And don't think about, I'm going to organize my life, I'm going to organize my house. It's too broad, it's not specific enough. Whereas if you say, okay, this weekend or today or this month, I'm going to do a certain thing, it becomes much easier, much more tangible. Without further ado, let's get into this. So even though it is fairly easy to do, the hallway, you often do need to purchase a little bit of furniture, and it doesn't have to be expensive, but you do have to have some layout. So that's kind of interesting as well in terms of, especially once you start to organize, you have the items that you want to keep, and then quite regularly, also when I was doing the organizing work face-to-face with clients, was we actually had to go to the shop to buy furniture in order to give items a home. And in the hallway, this is super important. What I'd like to introduce you to is what Fly Lady, I think, started it, or she talks about it. It's a launch pad. Now, what is this? A launch pad is a place, often a piece of furniture, that can have the key things that you need to launch your day. So, and it could have a variety of things. So I'll tell you a story. When I first started, I was in a 2-bedroom apartment, and you walked straight into the kitchen and the living area. So there essentially was no hallway. When I learned about the launch pad, I bought I think it was 4x4. It was kind of dark wooden. Nowadays, I'd like to go for like white, but it was 4x4 square box. And on top of it, I put a bowl. So all of a sudden, my keys went there, my sunglasses were at the top, and my handbag went into one of the boxes. All of a sudden, my living room was clear. It was just amazing what this one thing could do. And also, my partner didn't lose his keys anymore because there was this allocated spot for it. And if you have, like, say, 4 squares or 6 squares, you can give every family member one particular spot for bags, phones, wallets. Another thing that you can do is have, and this is quite strong in Europe. So actually, in a lot of the Australian houses, it's a little bit more tricky to set this up because it's not inbuilt in the houses. So in the house that I grew up, walked into a tiny hallway, but what you did there was, you on the side you had a rack for all your jackets, which you really need. Even most summer days you need a jacket, so that was really important. And the leash for the dog and all that stuff was there. On the bottom was a row of shoes, and there was frequently used shoes, so straight away your shoes were sorted. Then there was a built-in wardrobe for shoes that you didn't wear often, and jackets that you didn't wear often or that weren't in season. And then we had like a specific place for all the stuff to do with the dog. So probably mine and the dog's favorite place. But do you see, like, even me talking about it, it means that you can see it, you can feel it. There's a space for everything, and that's the key. Now, in Australian homes, you have to design that. So the first example I told you, I actually built a space for my handbag. In the second example where I grew up, there was no space for the bag. We actually took the bags into our rooms. So in your place, have a really good think about when you get into the house. Do you need, I think for most places you do need a location for your keys. So whether that's a hook or a bowl, maybe do that first. Phones tend to hover through the house, and you probably have set spots to charge them, so they don't have to be on a lounge pad, but they could. Sunglasses are important, wallet is important, and over time, like, you think about it, if you look for your keys and your wallet 5 minutes every 2 weeks, you're saving yourself quite a bit of time over a year. So all those little miscellaneous things, see if you need that. Are you going to take your bag straight away to the room it belongs to, or will you have your bag on the lounge pad? That means that there's different furniture requirements. And then the shoes. Do you need a shoe rack? So in the last few houses I lived, I've moved a lot, but we actually had shoe racks in the garage. So that meant that our launch pad didn't need a shoe rack. But do you see the amount of thinking that goes into that? The different areas, what you need, and potentially you might need 2 or 3 different pieces of furniture. But once you do it, it's going to be amazing, because all of a sudden you don't lose your keys. Your bag has a space and there's no shoes floating through the house. So it's a really worthwhile investment. And in terms of the furniture, it really depends. Like, so we've got the 4x4, which you can put together for $30, or, you know, and go upmarket $40 or $50. You can put that together in half an hour. That's pretty good. I got those from Bunnings, and they've got two kind of quality ones, the basic and a little bit more sturdier one. At the moment, what we're using is something from Officeworks. So it actually has drawers and a few shelves. So we put in the drawers little containers to put our keys in. Then we've got a little bit of decoration when we walk into the house, and bags go into everyone's room. So the kids take it to their room and I take it to the office. And we have shoes downstairs, plus a rack for jackets, both downstairs as well as upstairs. Upstairs are the nice jackets and downstairs are the rain bulky jackets. So you see, everything has a home, and there's quite a few pieces of furniture, but it really, really pays off to do this. Okay. Let's move on to keys. Basically, in terms of being organized with your keys, you can do a few things. One of the things that I have on my keys is a hook. I love a hook because when I take it in my backpack or my handbag, I can always hook my keys on it. It has to be a solid carabiner that basically will last you for years. Once I started doing that, all of a sudden I didn't lose my keys anymore, even in my bag. My key is also color coordinated. So if you have a bunch of different keys, I recommend going to something like Bunnings or any key maker and saying, all my home keys are blue, the front door is blue, the back door is orange, and everyone in the house actually knows that. So that makes it really organized. If you already have heaps of keys, then you can actually add like a colorful ring on the outside, and you even have little gadgets to fold your keys in. I've never had one, but some people that I know absolutely swear by them. Lastly, if you are in a position that you have lots of keys, then I suggest you set up kind of a separate project. So one is the hallway, the other one is the keys. I've worked for an organization that had an incredible amount of keys and multiple staff members that actually needed the keys. So what we did is we put them all on a table, and then we got tags saying the name of each key. We made sure that we had a double of each key as well, which was really helpful because if for whatever reason a person lost it, we always had a backup. And then we got by a handyman, we got a rack installed with all little hooks, and that's where all the keys went. And I think they ended up being 40 keys or something for 20 employees, but it was absolutely amazing. So 2 tips for the price of 1 today, hallway and keys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you can see that, you know, if you do it, like you can just, it's in your mind, it's in your space, and it's so worthwhile. Let me know how you go with your keys and your hallways. Even send me a photo. I'd love to see how you're progressing, and I will see you in another video. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.